Howdy folks, I'm Great Gray Hair Streak, gregariously gabbing about good grub.
I'm Amber.
And here's more good grub for us to gab about. I mean, it's just the flowers, unless we're like another one of those carnivorous butterflies.
No, I'm pretty sure you're just eating flowers.
Alright, we're eating flowers today, folks, and we're talking about it. We're gabbing about it. So let's get started on that. Oh, and folks, if this is your first time viewing, or you're a new subscriber, then welcome. This is a show where we teach you how to lose your guy in 50 days.
I mean, that's not the point of our show, but you know.
Let's get started. Alright, folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk Because I Told My Husband That I Would Be Using Tinder Since He Wants to Go to a Strip Club? My husband and I are having a bit of a hiccup. We recently moved to an amazing city for him to start a new job. So far, things have been great. When he first started this job, he mentioned a group of men that likes to go out on Thursdays for some golfing, and then they go to a strip club. It has seemed to me that he was judging them. So fast forward a few weeks or so, and he keeps bringing it up. I chuckled and I said, I'm getting the feeling that you want to go with them because you've brought this up like 4 times within a week. He said no, but he would go if I went, and said that I can come with them. Now, I'm not new to strip clubs, it's just that I'm not interested in that lifestyle anymore. I was a bartender for years and I know exactly what occurs there. Whether men want to say that they just go there for the cheap drinks, I've never believed that. A little bit of a backstory. I'm an extrovert. Since we've moved here, a lot of random men and some women have come up to me. I've had maybe 20 to 30 women thus far come up to me and compliment me on my look, which isn't new to my husband, but he hates it when men do it when I step away from him. I joined the local gym and I made some friends with a guy there. Just hi, how was the weekend? And then I was back to working out. I told my husband about it, and he joked that maybe I shouldn't be making friends with men because then he'll look bad in the community having his wife talk to all the men. His job title is well known here. Back to the present time. Since he's obviously interested in going to the strip club with these men that clearly don't value the women that they have at home, I said sure, he can go, but while he goes, I'll be on Tinder because our relationship is obviously open. He said that is cheating, so I responded, no it's not. You'll want to watch naked women and pay for them, so I'll let men watch me naked if they want after they take me out on a date. I wouldn't touch them because he said going to a strip club doesn't count as cheating because he's not touching them. They then can pleasure themselves at my naked body if they want to tip me with a cheesecake at the end of the date. He got furious and shouted a bit. I laughed and he walked out. I do feel bad being so graphic, but I mean, come on. Does he think that the strip club is where men go to have tea and biscuits? All right, folks, what do you think?
Not the jerk. And it sounds like OP is, or is just more or less trying to prove a point to him that what he is proposing is cheating in her eyes.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if he is not touching the strippers, he is still engaging in a way that violates the balance of their relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And if he would be uncomfortable with OP doing something similar, then he has no leg to stand on.
Yeah. I mean, I think, again, like you said, this is illustrative.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that OP is really serious about doing this. I don't know if OP would even execute on this if they were given the opportunity or not. I don't think that's what's important here, right? What I think is important is that OP feels like their husband wants to cheat on them, at least according to their book. And in that regard, like, she's willing to open up the relationship as much as he is willing to open up the relationship.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think he is being very hypocritical right here, and I don't like his standards about how OP can't even talk to men at the gym.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
I think that's a really good point.
I think it's worth reevaluating this relationship and how one-sided it seems to be. And also, OP talks about how she's extroverted and likes to talk to people, but it sounds like, you know, he's keeping her on a very short leash, and she's not necessarily getting to fulfill her social need.
Well, I think that is really important to point out here, right? Because he's like, oh, my job, if you're talking to people out in the neighborhood, then people might view my job poorly or something like that, right?
Right. It's like, where do you live? And I know there are places like this that exist, but maybe you shouldn't live somewhere where it's viewed as horrible for a woman to socialize with a man at the gym, but totally fine for, you know, her husband to go to a strip club.
Yeah, I mean, that's such a backwards double standard that I just can't even wrap my mind around it, right? Like, there's no reason why he should be able to go to the strip club but she can't even talk to men at a gym,
Mm-hmm.
going back to work out immediately afterwards. I don't know. I think this just sounds like he's a very jealous little man, to be quite honest,
Mm-hmm.
right? I think he needs to really seriously consider what he's doing here, and I think that OP put it in a perfect light.
Right, and I think it's time for OP to examine this relationship and see if it really is suiting her or if it is stifling her.
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Rarebird4353 says, cheating is the betrayal of a relationship, not physical contact with someone else. People have emotional affairs all the time, and it's 100% cheating, even if they aren't in the same location. If no strip clubs is a set and agreed on boundary, then it's a betrayal of the relationship, and it's cheating. I mean, we all know what goes on at strip clubs and why people go. And OP replies, I've been to a few back in my earlier days. I know a few strippers, so I'm just not into my husband going, and he knows that even before he started working here. And Harney Dadbod says, as a married guy, that's pretty funny. Honestly, your reason does make sense. It's ironic that you talking innocently to men can make him look bad, but if people see him at a strip club, it won't make him look bad. I get it for those who say that you're both jerks, but you're communicating well within your relationship, so I say not the jerk. And OP replies, you get it. I can't talk to a man because he looks bad, but he can watch naked women. Lol. Huh. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, My boyfriend accidentally called me the other day while I was at the gym with his friends. He had called me earlier to invite me over for one of our usual game nights. We usually just play Elden Ring and have some drinks. It's something that I always look forward to. Since he wasn't home yet, I told him just to give me a call once they get back and I would head over. After about 20 minutes, my phone rang. I figured that it was him letting me know that they were home. I picked up and I said hello a few times, but quickly realized that he couldn't hear me. I think that he must have tapped my name by mistake from his recent calls or something like that. But here's where it gets interesting. He was talking to his friends about me. He mentioned that a couple of the girls were flirting with him at the gym, but then I heard him say, I don't care about any of that. I get to see my girl tonight. And then he just kept on going, you don't get it. I'm crazy about her. She's smart, sexy, and so sweet, and I literally can't wait to see her. He was just gushing, and I was smiling like an idiot listening to all of it. But that's not even the main reason that I'm posting this. I accidentally overheard something that I probably wasn't supposed to. My birthday is coming up, and he's been really secretive about what he's planning. Then I heard him say, her camera is garbage, it barely works, so I'm going to surprise her with a Canon and a few lenses. He didn't say which model, but still. Then he said, she's so talented and I believe in her, I just want to help her make it. I am a photographer and I'm currently working for a company, but my dream is to eventually start my own business. The fact that he sees that and is rooting for me this hard, I've never had anyone show me that kind of support or belief before. He still doesn't know that I heard any of it. I've just been holding it close to my heart and smiling every time I think about it. I'm seriously the luckiest. All right, folks, what do you think?
It's very wholesome.
I hope it's wholesome. I'm going to be a cynical Brian here for a moment and say...
Brian, you have to ruin everything.
Say that maybe I'm hoping that this was a butt dial. I'm really rooting for this to be a butt dial. I'm a little concerned that he staged it. And maybe that's just the cynical version of me coming up from reading too many of these types of stories. And I'm hoping that's not the case. I really do hope that he's sincerely actually being a good person and actually does care about OP this much. I do know that there are some people who will do stuff like this and can be manipulative. So if OP looks at the relationship and sees other areas where he might do manipulative, planned out types of things, then this should give them pause. If, on the other hand, he is a very nice guy who isn't manipulative and is a sincerely good individual, this probably isn't this is probably just a butt dial. That's what I would have to say on this. What do you think?
I mean, I can't judge whether it's real or not. I just like to believe that it's real.
Well, and I think that one can get too cynical about these kinds of things, right? And I certainly don't want to be cynical about it. I really do want to believe that this was actually just a sincere, nice thing that has happened. And that's my hope here. I just don't want to see OP get hurt in the end, because this was like some manipulative thing that he's doing to like assuage her fears about him like cheating or something like that on her. And then, finding out the hard way that, he's like a garbage human being, right? But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care. Good luck. And Adam Chris Hughes says, tell him the truth and tell him that what he said was better than any birthday present that he could ever give you. And 1182990 says, maybe after the birthday so that she still gets the present. And OP replies, he will also be getting a present, wink. And HBA Filthy Rhino says, that sounds like an awesome relationship. I hope you enjoy your birthday surprise. I wish you luck with your ambitions. And Bear Sweet 769 says, that's such a sweet comment. Sounds like you really get how special that moment was. And AC Brent 11 says, the old accidental call on purpose, a pro move. And JWN SFW says, perfectly timed with a gush sesh with the boys. Wait. And OK Maintenance 2775 says, be right back, babe. Gonna go gushing with the boys. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, am I a jerk for telling my wife that I want her and not her silly little gifts for my birthday? Well, this is about the third year in a row that I've told my wife that I don't want any silly, cheap Amazon gifts for my birthday. She asks me what I want every year, and I tell her that I don't need anything and that I just want her and to spend time together. I'm obsessed with her and she knows it. While we have a great intimate life, and there's no complaints there at all I want is for her to be there for me, wear lingerie, cater to me. Just on my birthday, I'm not asking for this treatment every day, and she knows this, but it's like I'm asking too much. I really don't think that she knows how to be sexy, even though she knows she is, and I tell her this all the time. She got me a phone mount for my car this year, which I've never shown any interest in or acted like I needed. Not sure where these ideas come from. So I asked her that I hope that she didn't spend a lot on it because I most likely won't use it. I don't want a product that's just going to sit in my car and never get used. There's no point in wasting money on something that won't be used. But she acts upset that I don't like her gift. But it's not that I don't like it, I'm just not going to use it, so I don't see any point in acting like I love it if I really don't. I don't want to be fake and act like I love it, but on the other hand, I don't want to be ungrateful either. I don't know, it just seems like a last minute gift. Like, oh, it's his birthday this weekend, I better get him something quick. But in all honesty, I don't need or want it, I just want her. I feel like I'm talking in circles, but I don't know what to say to her anymore. Edit ad, I told her last year that I want her for my birthday explicitly, and she really didn't like that. She was upset that I just couldn't pick something out. I'm a guy, if I want something, I'll order it myself, or it'll be obvious that I want it. But when she wants me to pick something tangible and physical, and I say that I just want you to be sexy for me, it's like, how dare you? Oh my goodness, am I really asking too much? Literally, you don't have to spend any amount of money, nothing, zero, nada. Alright folks, what do you think of this one?
Yeah, OP, I think you need to really think about what you're asking of her. Like, if you said, I don't want anything, I want a card, like, or just something handmade, that might be a little bit of a different situation.
Mm-hmm.
But what you're asking is for her to do something with her body that she may not be comfortable with. Like, even if you're intimate at other times, it can put a lot of pressure on someone to be like, well, I want my birthday present to be you, because she's gonna, like, now there's all this pressure of like, I have to give him a good birthday, so I have to, get all dolled up and I have to do everything right. And like, if anything goes wrong, then I'm ruining his birthday.
Yeah.
It's such a huge expectation to put on someone. So it's understandable if you don't necessarily want a lot of material things, but I think you need to reevaluate how you're approaching the situation and what you're actually asking. You're treating her more like she's a prop, a toy for you, than an actual person with her own feelings and needs.
I absolutely agree with that. I mean, I think that's a great assessment there. And I mean, where I kind of have a problem with what he's doing here is the insistence on it. If she was okay with this and down with it, and she's like, oh, of course, yeah, I'll do this for you, because there's some people who are going to be fine with this, right? Then there's no problem at all. And there wouldn't be even a conversation at this point in time, because she would just be, throwing herself at him on his birthdays, right? she clearly isn't comfortable with this, and it isn't something that she wants to do. If she's getting upset about it, then you need to read the sign, read the room, and realize that you're not going to get that for your birthday.
Right, and that you're acting coercive in that moment.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
it's clear she has a lot of insecurities around this sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it's, totally understandable, but the way, if you want her to be more open with you, you have to let that happen on its own terms and help foster an environment where she can feel like she can be herself, but not one where she feels forced to perform. That will have the opposite effect.
Well, and this also might be one of these things where she feels like it cheapens the intimacy, where she's like, oh, now this is being given as a gift. It's a monetary, almost exchange, transactional, and I can understand feeling uncomfortable about that, right? And certainly that's going to be a line that every person has to draw on their own, right? And I think if OP is really this concerned, then maybe he can just tell her that he doesn't want anything for his birthday, right?
Or just something like, oh, if you gave me a card, or, because it is really hard when you have someone who says, I don't want anything for my birthday. I speak from personal experience.
Well, just because I'm not a gift person.
Brian generally does not want anything or need anything, but there's such a social pressure to give people gifts. So if you can think of something small, again, you can be like, I don't want you spending money, but I would love a card.
Yeah.
Or, if she has some kind of crafty thing she does, or, something if you made this something for me, that would be amazing. There's any number of things you could ask her for that would be within her comfort zone and also not cost a lot of money.
Yeah, he can just start, looking at things that he wants to buy for himself, because it sounds like he still gets himself presents throughout the year, right? But he could, instead of buying a present for himself or buying what he wants throughout the year, he could set aside that and say, oh, I was looking at this type of thing.
Right, because it sounds like, at least the car amount, it sounds like maybe she was going into practical territory.
Yeah.
Because she's trying to find something that he could use, because he's being so uncommunicative on that front.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's it too, is this doesn't sound like it was a bad gift, in the respect that if he talks on the phone in his car, then this might have been a perfect gift. Or if he uses GPS, he may just be refusing to use it because it wasn't what he wanted, right? And so I would think he needs to examine his feelings about whether or not this was a matter of something that he really couldn't use, or if it was a matter of I refuse to use it because I wanted my other present type of thing, right? So I think there is some stuff here that they both probably need to unpack a little bit. But again, I certainly, from the perspective of somebody who doesn't really want a lot for my birthday, or, Christmas, or any of these other holidays, I understand, it can feel, it's one of these things where I feel bad about it too, right? I understand, people do want to get gifts and stuff like that, but I just have, very few, tangible needs, right?
A big minimalist.
Yeah, I'm a very, very big minimalist. There's a shelf of stuff in the house that belongs to me, right?
Whereas I'm a maximalist and everything belongs to me.
And then that's a vibe that's fine, right? Everyone can some people can be minimalists, and some people can, like and want stuff, and there's nothing wrong with either of those kinds of things. So I do get his frustration if he's somebody who doesn't want or need a whole lot of stuff. But I would caution that if he does get stuff for himself throughout the year, then just, bite the bullet and not get yourself stuff that you want immediately or something like that, and let your partner buy it for you for a gift.
Right, or even just practical things, if there are things you're not in desperate need of, but you could use some new socks or new undershirts or something. You can always just let her get that. It's not that exciting, so it's not like you'd be missing out on something for any length of time.
But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Turbulent Jaguar 476 says, she's your wife and not your sex puppet. Be thankful for the gift and be grateful that you have a wife. And OP replies, you folks draw all kinds of conclusions. Okay, got it. No open communication. Just get over it and deal with it. Thank you. I don't know what I would do without this advice. I'll be sure to let my sex puppet know. It sounds like that got to him a bit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, I think he really needs to recognize, and I mean, the original commenter was maybe being a little harsh, but I think there's an important lesson in here is that he is treating his wife like she is an object for
Yeah.
his pleasure rather than a person who is very clearly uncomfortable. If your partner is showing severe discomfort with something like this, that you need to back off.
Well, that's it. And certainly, like, I think that he's right that you do need to be able to have open communication in a relationship, right?
Right, but it sounds like the open communication only goes one way.
Yeah, and he's allowed to voice his wants and desires, right?
Mm-hmm.
But she's already made it clear that this isn't a gift that she's comfortable with giving,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so at a certain point, like, sir, you're allowed to communicate these things, right? But you also have to be careful that you don't cross into being coercive
Mm-hmm.
or violating boundaries while you're doing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I understand the trickiness of this, but I do think that he needs to be careful because that's a very fine line, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Complex Afternoon says, I get that you don't want random gifts, and it's a waste, but she doesn't have much to go off considering that you don't give her any ideas. Your love language is clearly touch, and hers just might be gift giving. Why can't there be a middle ground? Pretty sure if you let her know something that you might like as a gift and you show some excitement towards it, she might actually feel in the mood to wear some lingerie instead of you feeling like the gifts are useless and your wife feeling like she's done a bad job again. Kind of ruins the mood. Just meet in the middle. Ask for some sort of snack board or something like that, like a cheese board and some wine. At least then you can both enjoy it and have a good time together like you want. And OP replies, yeah, I've come right out and said it in the past. I want her for my birthday, nothing else. But she was offended that it wasn't something tangible and it wasn't something that she could buy on Amazon. The thing is, like, I feel like he's very insistent
Mm-hmm.
here. And, like, what would be wrong in being, instead of saying, oh, I want to be intimate with you, be like, why don't we have a movie date or something
Well,
like that?
that too, yeah. Like, cause people will do like little like coupons for like dates, and just like, why don't you plan us a date?
Yeah.
And like maybe that will lead to something more, maybe it won't, but at least it might give her something that she's more comfortable with, and it still allows her to buy things or plan things. Like if she has to buy the movie tickets or the dinner items or something like that, she's still creating something for OP.
Yeah.
They can make memories together.
Yeah. I mean, I think that would be a much more like something that she could actually be comfortable doing, right? I mean, it sounds like if she was like, if he was like, why don't we just have a date night or a movie night in and watch her favorite movie or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be a show her that he appreciates her and appreciates spending time with her, and then they can actually be he doesn't have to have her spend any money on him, and they can both be happy in that particular case, right? And I'm not saying that she has to put out for him or
No,
anything like
obviously,
that,
like
right?
that needs to be taken off the table. Like if it
Yeah.
happens, it's a nice bonus, but if it doesn't, then that's fine.
Or like this other person, what do you think of like the charcuterie board and stuff like that that this person's
Yeah, I
suggesting?
mean, I think that goes along the same lines. Like you could
Hmm.
have a nice like charcuterie board and movie night or game night or.
Yeah. I don't know why he needs to bring intimacy into all this, right?
Well, it sounds like it's a deeper unhappiness with her. It sounds like she has some very clear discomfort with being, you know,
Intimate, yeah.
intimate in that way and like in a performative way. It sounds like she's
Yeah.
very self-conscious when he says she doesn't know how to be sexy at all or something like that. Like his whole attitude around it was kind of gross, and it just sounds like she's deeply insecure, and it can be a very uncomfortable thing even when someone you're close with, but especially with someone who you feel like is pestering you and to perform a certain way. So
Yeah, I mean, kind of the more we dig into these comments, maybe more therapy couples therapy might be needed here.
yeah.
Maybe there's some communication things or there's some other things that they can work on and talk through, right?
Right.
Because I'm sure, she probably has a lot to say about this as well,
Mm-hmm.
right? And T Lady Jane says a few questions. What do you do for her birthday? Has she said anything about why she doesn't want to do the lingerie thing? Is catering to you, in your opinion, doing something for you that she doesn't like or enjoy, but she should just get over it and do it on your birthday? Are you a selfish lover where she just is kind of over it? Do you make her feel valued out of the bedroom? And OP replies, I listen all year long to her, oh, that's nice, oh, I'd like that, and I write it down in my notes and my phone, and then I try my best to get what she likes, but she's much more materialistic type of person than I am, and she likes things while I like experiences. She will do lingerie, but only if I ask for it. She very well knows that I like it, I just don't want to have to ask. She knows what I like, and it's not a surprise. We've been married for 10 years. Trust me, she knows. Lol, and no, my favorite thing in life is pleasuring her. There's no shortage of that in the bedroom. She is always pleasured by me.
I mean, I think I think marriage counseling is probably a great idea here because there's a reason why she was only wearing lingerie when prompted. It sounds like this is something that she's not comfortable with and is okay doing to a degree for OP, but doesn't really enjoy it. And so I think he needs to understand that there may be a fundamental incompatibility here where he's wanting her to do something and like she will push the limits of what she's comfortable with sometimes, but not all the time, you know? And like, not everyone is just going to be able to do those kind of things without prompting.
Well, I think that this whole situation, it adds even a deeper layer here because he's like, oh, I want her to surprise me. But if you ask for this for your birthday, it's not a surprise anymore, right? So what's the difference between just asking and then asking and having it happen on your birthday, right?
Well, I think he did ask for his birthday, it sounds like, but...
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying, though, is like, it sounds like he's saying, oh, I want this as a surprise, and he's treating it like on the birthday as it's the surprise.
I see what you're saying, yeah.
But, I mean, it's not any more of a surprise than, just coming out and saying, oh, can you dress up sexy for me tonight or something like that, right?
Right. How important is this to him, and how important is his relationship to his wife? Because his wife may not be the person to meet this particular need of his. And it sounds like they've got an otherwise good relationship. So if that's enough for him, I mean, I still think marriage counseling so they can talk things over and hopefully work things out. But I think he also needs to recognize that this may never be something that she's comfortable doing just spontaneously. Yeah.
All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a joke.
What do vegetarian zombies eat?
Oh, I mean, vegetarian zombies, they eat tofu people. Like, I mean, it's pretty impressive. Like, you wouldn't know the difference between the tofu people and the regular people that they eat, right? Like, they're very convincing. Very, very convincing. And so, I mean, I'm just glad that they eat the tofu ones and not the real people.
Artichoke hearts. And it's National Vegetarian Week and also Plant Something Day.
Oh, go plant a zombie. It's worth it. Trust me. And I have Mega Mint. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Manic Monday, folks. I hope your Monday is off to a great start. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please have it boundaries in a relationship.
It is important to respect your partner's boundaries. And if you are feeling frustrated and stifled, it may be time to reevaluate the relationship, but you should not push people to do things they are uncomfortable with.
Yeah. But thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye!